for coming to celebrate Beef Month with us today. This is a special dinner. This is our second time we've done this to celebrate Beef Month, but also give back to the local community. So we have Becca Sell from Food Chain here this evening. So Food Chain is a local hunger initiative, but they also teach kids this wonderful program about where their food comes from and also cooking skills. It's just really wonderful. We also have Caitlin Hawkins here tonight from the Kentucky Cattlemen's Association, who co-hosts with us. And Caitlin has a wonderful career in beef science. So she has put together this wonderful menu that you guys will be enjoying tonight. And she's also going to be sharing with you about how important it is to pair beef with certain things, like wine or bourbon and all kinds of ingredients that she included on the menu. Does she want to say anything? Yeah, go ahead.
Hi everybody. So I can't take all the credit for the menus. Basically, I work for every single cattle woman and man in Kentucky. Essentially, every time a head of cattle is sold in our state, $2 comes off into a checkoff program, and I work on behalf of the beef checkoff. So we utilize those funds for promotion, education, and research within the beef industry. One of the tools that we have at that is access to a wonderful library of different recipes that incorporate beef in a number of different ways. The beef components of tonight's dinner were pulled from that recipe database in the thought of understanding that we're going into the summer grilling season, we're celebrating Beef Month, but also taking a non-traditional look at how to pair flavors with beef. So the appetizers that are being passed around right now, you have the roasted feta cheese, or the feta cheese spread with the roasted garlic, and then you have the steak on top of it paired with a tomato and olive tapenade, pretty much. So that'll bring in notes of that freshness of summer with tomatoes coming on. You have kind of the bitterness of the olive, but you still get that creaminess of the feta. And with beef, you have so many different cuts to choose from that you really could layer on any cut of beef and slice it thin and make this nice little appetizer a one bite if you want to in a certain setting. And then we have the kebabs that has the beef with the red bell pepper and the fig. So don't ever be afraid to pair some sweetness with your beef dishes as well. I think there's this stigma with beef that it's only supposed to be a center of the plate and it's only supposed to be dense and it's really supposed to be served with a potato and a salad. I love that, don't get me wrong. I'm a Southern girl, so I love that. But it's fun to see it in new applications. From one of our actually featured Beef Month recipes, which was a spicy Korean beef and cucumber appetizer. So you remember how I said at our last stop, thinking about beef in a different manner and seeing how it pairs with different opportunities. This is a good take on if you either have someone that has a gluten intolerance, or maybe they're shying away from bread, things like that, or you just have an abundance of cucumbers at home. It's a great opportunity to use that cucumber as a vessel instead of a traditional crostini. When it comes, the beef cut versatility is really all over here. You could use a strip steak, you could use a ribeye if you have that left over, you could use flat iron, things like that. So there's a lot of different options as far as the beef option to put on top of this. You could utilize a cream cheese spread as well if you wanted something to anchor the beef and the shrimp, or it does perfectly fine just without it if you kind of don't want to have the extra calories in there, or just have to deal with that extra prep step. It's a great opportunity to showcase using fresh ingredients as well as pairing it with beef, but also pairing two proteins together. So beef and shrimp, surf and turf, right? Which is a great opportunity, but beef pairs well with all the other proteins and a lot of different flavors. It takes on spice very nicely. The great thing about this is you get the heat from the Korean spice, but then you get the coolness from the cucumber, so they really work together to mellow everything out. When you talk about pairing beef with more of a sweeter cocktail like the blackberry and the bourbon, or even I think it was like the vanilla moonshine down there, one of the things you want to keep in mind is you don't want to have a sweeter component within your beef dish like we had the fig at the last one, which will probably be a little overly sweet when we pair it with the blackberry and the lemonade from this one. So you go with that spicier or that more of a mellow tone there. That way you can either showcase the beef a little bit more in that appetizer, or you can showcase the cocktail a little bit more depending on what you want to do. One tip that I was taught by chefs and even DeRay is when you're looking, and everything's presented so beautifully tonight on those wooden cutting boards, but when it comes to plating and really looking at how you want to present something, garnishes are great, but I mean, I get frustrated with those like parsley garnishes that are just coming out of nowhere. So if you look at your ingredients within your dishes and pick a garnish based off of that, so you could garnish that cutting board with a little bit more of maybe like the Korean paste on the side, or since you're pairing it with the cocktail, maybe you put some blackberries on there or a lemon twirl or something like that. So then just making sure when we're going into summer grilling season and party season, being aware and looking at really what your ingredients are and then plating accordingly and using those assets to really round out the whole dish. Because we have to help people understand not only how to utilize beef, but get fun in the way that we advertise beef. So what we provided tonight is a snapshot into some of our favorite opportunities that we use for marketing, but they're just fun tools for you to utilize in your kitchens. So in your red bags, that is an insulated cooler bag. So use that at the grocery store, use that however you take. We also have in there a wine opener, since we're on par with tonight. I believe there's some tongs, pot holders, things like that. But essentially, we utilize all of these as opportunities to start a beef conversation or a conversation in general about cooking. So we're super excited to have all of you guys tonight. Thank you for your time. And I know like swag bags are a thing, so I figured we'd go ahead and talk about those. Very nice twist on a different take on a salad. So we're going into the summer season. As much as I can't believe that it's already May and gardens are in the ground. Maybe one day it'll stop raining like I said earlier. But I love a good salad. I mean, I think they're refreshing, but I think they can also be hearty and filling if you want them to be. So this is a great way to utilize beef as a salad topper. I think sometimes people are hesitant to put beef on top of a salad. One, because depending on how you're going to cut it or what cut of beef you're going to utilize, you don't want to utilize a more tougher cut of beef like a flank steak or something like that unless you marinate it beforehand. This is a great utilization for if you have leftover beef or leftover steaks from the night before. This dish pairs it with a mango avocado, so you get some of that creaminess from the avocado, the sweetness from the mango, but you're going to get a little bit of a bite from that blue cheese. And there are different flavors, and I'll get into this a little bit more with the next course, that pair very well with beef and really bring out and enhance the meatiness of a beef cut and start to bring a dish together. Blue cheese being one of those. I know it's a little hit or miss as far as if people like it or not. I was not a fan when I first started in my position, but now I've learned to love it. So I encourage you to try everything tonight. I know you all have so far, and just keep on that task. But please enjoy, and thank you to everyone that made it and served it.